A poor gatekeeper's marriage became the blueprint for saving a millionaire's broken home, after even professional marriage counselors had failed. You won't believe what happened when the roles were unexpectedly reversed. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so to get the latest Nigerian movies from us. Today, we're talking about a captivating new Nigerian movie that offers more than just entertainment. It's full of life lessons you won't want to miss. So let's get into it. The story begins with a woman named Vero, who was happily taking care of her home. When her husband, Polycarp, returned from work, he told her he hadn't been able to find a job. She encouraged him, and the couple enjoyed the moment together in love and unity. On the other side of town is another couple, Gabriel and Cynthia. When Gabriel politely asked his wife to open the gate for him, she responded rudely, comparing him to other men and exchanging harsh words with him. Despite this, Gabriel calmly got down, opened the gate himself, and drove in. That night, Vero and Polycarp were joyfully eating Gary with sugar and ground nuts, enjoying each other's company even in their humble setting. Meanwhile, Gabriel and Cynthia had a full meal prepared, but they were not getting along. Gabriel ignored the food Cynthia made and walked into the bedroom, leaving her feeling hurt and disappointed. The next morning, Gabriel mentioned to Cynthia that his agent was looking for a gatekeeper. However, her response was cold and indifferent, making him question how he ended up married to someone like her. He quietly left for work. That same day, an agent called Polycarp to inform him about a gatekeeping job opportunity. Polycarp was ready to accept the job, but said he couldn't leave his wife behind since they were newly married. He requested that his wife be allowed to live with him at the new place. The agent promised to get back to him. Vero felt proud and happy that her husband valued her presence so much, and they cherished the moment together. Later that evening, while Gabriel was working, his wife, Cynthia, started insulting him again. When he told her about the new gatekeeper and his wife coming to live with them, she accused him of planning to flirt with the gatekeeper's wife, just like he allegedly flirts with his female staff. Gabriel was shocked by her accusation and explained that he only treats his staff nicely so they can do their jobs well. He made it clear that he would never do anything inappropriate, but that her constant nagging was becoming unbearable. He told her that either she learns to stay peacefully in the house or she should be the one to open the gate for him. With that, she walked away. The next day, Polycarp and Vero arrived and introduced themselves to Gabriel. When Cynthia joined them, Vero greeted her as well, but asked a strange question, likely due to Cynthia's hard expression. Polycarp stood up for his wife and tried to smooth things over, while Vero complimented Gabriel for being calm and respectful. Gabriel, in turn, asked Polycarp to send his account number, and then showed them to their room. Polycarp and Vero were thrilled with their new living space. They looked around with excitement and gratitude, enjoying every bit of it. Later, in the kitchen, Gabriel attempted to use Vero's cheerful and respectful attitude to teach his wife how to treat a husband. But Cynthia threw his words back at him, reminding him of all the promises he made but never fulfilled. She added that his attitude and harsh words were even worse than his broken promises. Gabriel, frustrated, walked away. Meanwhile, Polycarp and Vero were outside that night, having fun and laughing together. They were so happy just being in each other's company. Cynthia, watching them through the house's CCTV, was confused and bothered. She wondered how a mere gatekeeper could make his wife so happy while she, married to a millionaire, was so miserable. When Gabriel came to bed, she showed him the footage and expressed how unloved and unappreciated she felt. She cried and turned away from him. Gabriel, too, was stunned by the genuine happiness he saw in the other couple, and he eventually fell asleep. Polycarp and Vero remained joyful and content as they drifted off to sleep together. But the big question is it really possible to have such a peaceful and joyful marriage without any problems? Let's find out how long their happiness lasts. The next morning, Polycarp and his wife woke up singing praises, worshiping, and praying to their God. Cynthia, returning from her early morning jog, noticed them and felt bad about herself. She went inside and spoke to her husband about what she had just seen, telling him that he had never done anything like that with her. But Gabriel responded by praying that God would help shut his wife's troublesome mouth. Cynthia, offended, stormed off to her room. Back outside, Polycarp and Vero continued enjoying their moment together as they cheerfully washed their boss's car. Meanwhile, Cynthia remained in her room with Gabriel, clearly disturbed by what she had seen and heard. Cynthia was still angry, and whenever her husband spoke to her, she took out her frustration on him. To avoid further trouble, Gabriel quietly walked away. Meanwhile, Polycarp and his wife quickly wrapped up their tasks as their boss. Gabriel drove off. The next day, after freshening up together, Vero told her husband that she wanted to take on additional work so they could save more money. Polycarp, being a loving and romantic husband, supported her, and they spent quality time together, enjoying each other's company. Later that day, Veronica returned from her side hustle to find that her husband had prepared a meal for her. They all enjoyed the moment, dancing and singing together in joy. Cynthia saw them from outside and felt jealous, wishing she could be the one experiencing such happiness. Cynthia went inside and began wondering how Polycarp and his wife could be so happy despite their humble lifestyle. Gabriel explained that their joy came from being content with what they had. Frustrated, he even threatened to remove the CCTV cameras. The couple then started comparing themselves to Polycarp and Vero, calling each other hurtful names. One day, Gabriel saw Polycarp washing his wife's underwear. He confronted him, surprised by what he considered degrading. But Polycarp calmly explained that in their marriage, they do things together without pride or ego. He told Gabriel that small acts of service like this make his wife happy. Gabriel left, reflecting on whether such a dynamic could ever work in his own marriage. However, he decided against it, fearing that Cynthia might take advantage of the gesture. Back at home, Cynthia was thinking about talking to Vero to learn the secret of her happy marriage. But she was hesitant. If a professional marriage counselor couldn't fix her problems, how could Vero's advice work? Still, she was curious and willing to give it a try. One day, Vero looked moody when she came out of the restroom. When her husband found out she was pregnant, he was overjoyed. That night, he gave her a special treat to celebrate, and they shared a loving and intimate moment. That same night, Cynthia opened up to Gabriel about the emotional struggles in their marriage. Gabriel accused her of being ungrateful, which led to another heated argument. Gabriel ended up sleeping on the couch, quietly thinking about trying the advice Polycarp had given him. The next morning, Gabriel woke up early and prepared breakfast for his wife, but Cynthia didn't take it well. She accused him of trying to poison her and accepted the food with suspicion. Her reaction upset Gabriel so much that he stormed out in anger. How would you feel if your husband, after a fight, surprised you with a lovingly prepared meal? Would you eat it wholeheartedly? Later that morning, Gabriel explained to his gatekeeper, Polycarp, that his advice hadn't worked. But Polycarp encouraged him, telling him that winning his wife's heart wouldn't be easy, but once it's done, everything else would fall into place. He also shared insights on the role of a man and how to lead his family in love and humility. Polycarp also shared the good news of his wife's pregnancy, and Gabriel expressed joy for them, offering his support. Later that day, Polycarp insisted on going out to sell pure water, especially since his wife had just started experiencing pregnancy-related health issues. He left to work. While Vero was relaxing in the living room, Cynthia came in and started a conversation. She asked how Vero managed to make her husband so happy. Vero began to explain the key. Her submission and respect earned her husband's love and support. She also shared the news of her pregnancy, and Cynthia congratulated her. Impressed, Cynthia offered Vero a job as a chef in their home. When Vero heard how much she'd be paid, she agreed. She later shared the news with her husband, who was equally excited and proud of her. Not long after, their boss, Gabriel, returned home. He approached his wife and gave her a gift. However, Cynthia was suspicious of the gesture. Gabriel expressed how tired he was of their constant fighting and said he wanted to make things work between them again. Although Cynthia appreciated the gesture, she couldn't fully trust it because it had come too late. She thanked him, but returned to her room, still emotionally guarded. Days later, Gabriel continued doing thoughtful and beautiful things for his wife, surprising her with his kindness. Cynthia appreciated these changes and genuinely enjoyed the new version of her husband, though she still found it hard to fully let her guard down. One day, Cynthia opened up to Vero about everything that had been going on lately. She admitted that while she was enjoying the new experience, she was still holding back emotionally. She asked Vero to be honest with her. She wanted to know how Vero truly saw her and promised she could handle the truth. Vero gently echoed the same things Gabriel had been telling Cynthia. She advised her not to compete with her husband or try to dominate him. Instead, she encouraged Cynthia to trust that her husband was there to protect and care for her. If she could learn to submit with love, things would change. The two women bonded and enjoyed their heartfelt moment together. Months later, Polycarp and Vero were in their usual cheerful mood, enjoying each other's company and playfully teasing one another. Their boss, Gabriel, arrived and noticed how lovingly they interacted. When Gabriel entered his room, he was warmly welcomed by Cynthia, who had prepared a romantic setting. They made love that night and shared a genuine emotional connection. Afterward, they both reflected on how foolish they had been for not listening to each other earlier in their marriage. They realized that the godly and humble example set by their gatekeeper and his wife had deeply influenced them. They never looked down on the couple and were now inspired by their lifestyle. Gabriel then shared some exciting news with Cynthia. He had just been promoted to assistant CEO. She was overjoyed, and they celebrated together, filled with happiness and renewed hope. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in Gabriel and Cynthia's life. The following day, they went to work beaming with joy. Meanwhile, Polycarp and Vero continued their usual routine in the kitchen, enjoying each other's presence and helping one another with chores. Later that evening, when Gabriel and his wife returned from work, Polycarp welcomed them happily. The couple went inside, cherishing their time together even more than before. One day, during dinner, Gabriel and Cynthia invited Polycarp and Vero to join them at the dining table. At first, the couple was nervous, thinking they might be about to get fired. But to their surprise, Gabriel insisted that they were now part of the family. They all shared a joyful and emotional moment together. The next day, Cynthia confided in Vero once again, this time revealing that she was pregnant. Vero congratulated her, and the two women celebrated this joyous news together. Later that same day, Gabriel and Cynthia held a private meeting with Polycarp and Vero. With deep gratitude, they thanked them for helping to transform their broken marriage into something beautiful, just by living out their values and setting a good example. As a token of their appreciation, they gifted the couple 20 million naira so they could start a new life of their own. Gabriel also informed them that a new staff would be taking over their duties starting the next day. They all shared a heartfelt moment and celebrated together. This movie teaches us powerful lessons about the importance of understanding and communication in marriage. A relationship cannot thrive on the effort of one person alone. It takes two willing hearts to make it work. Always stand by the one you love and defend them at all costs. Love is a beautiful thing when it's nurtured and managed well. And never look down on anyone because of their status. They might just be the source of your greatest inspiration. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more exciting updates on the latest Nigerian movies. See you next time.